So the first paid extra DLC character for Smash Bros. Ultimate came out this week on the 17th of April, and it was Joker from Persona 5. And I'll not pretend to have much experience with Persona or Joker as a character, but I do like a bit of Smash Bros., so I went ahead and bought him. Now, he came out, as mentioned, on the 17th, and you can purchase him for £5.39 as a standalone bit of DLC, or he comes as part of the Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighter Pass, which comes in at £22.49, although you can buy it from some third-party vendors as low as £18.50, from what I've seen when I've been doing some researching this morning. So really it depends on whether you think you're going to be playing this for the next year or so, however long it takes for these to go out. I will caveat that all the placeholders for the 4 remaining fighters are all dated for 2020. Whether that is a placeholder or whether they are not coming out this year, it seems that seems far-fetched, but really it's a toss-up between whether you want to pay a little bit more up front with the guarantee that you'll get all those eventually and have a bit of a discount, or whether you feel like you'll buy them as and when they come out, depending on how much you're interested in. For me personally, I bought them separately because around about a fiver is a lot easier to swallow up front for the promise, against the promise of potential things in the future. I know they're not. It's more than a promise. There will be new content, but really it's about, if you buy straight off the eShop, it's only a £2.50 discount over the course of a year. It's not huge, but either way, Joker's here, and you'll be able to see some gameplay in the background. He's a good character. I actually really like him. I like the style. It's actually got me interested in trying Persona, just playing as him. He fights with a knife and a gun, and he can do a few kind of fireball-y attacks with his directional in B. He's good. I actually really enjoy him. He's got a lot of mobility. He's fast. He's kind of like he's reminiscent of a Greninja, of Greninja with his normal attacks. I quite like Greninja as well. He's fast. He's got a grappling hook he can use to either open B attack into people or grab onto ledges. And he's also got a kind of a charge up mechanic, a bit like Cloud does with his limit breaks. But this is his Persona bar, and when it reaches max, he summons a Persona, which is a big demon-looking thing called Arsene, and that effectively powers him up while Arsene lasts, and also alters some of his attacks. His directional B becomes a massive fireball that burns a spot on the ground, a bit like Simon Belmont's Holy Water that he can throw. And his grappling hook up B is replaced by like a flight. Arsene uses his wings to fly, and that alters him up. So yeah, generally pretty pleased with him. Whether he is worth a fiver or not, I don't know, but it got me to jump back on Smash Brothers after a few months hiatus. I played it shit tons over Christmas, and then dropped off as the new year kind of rolled on. Probably because over Christmas, playing with a lot of people, had a lot of guests over the house, got to see a lot of friends, got to see a lot of family, and had a really good time. You can tell from the gameplay, I am not a professional Smash Brothers player by any stretch of imagination. This is definitely low tier gameplay, so it's probably not worth me going into any great detail. I am not a Smash expert. I understand the basic mechanics, and I understand what I understand what a tech is. But that's about as far as it goes. But yeah, really like Joker. He's a good addition to the roster. This is a game that has got so much shit in it already that adding more to it just makes it all the more fun. It's a celebration of games. It's something that's very, very special and very, very well balanced. And Joker does feel balanced. As somebody who isn't very good, generally play on kind of mid-tier 5 enemies with 5 or 6 difficulty, and sometimes they win, sometimes I win. It's usually a good fight either way. I enjoy it. Any higher than that, I start really, really struggling. But yeah, Joker, recommend him from my point of view. If you aren't adverse to spending a bit of money, because I say the price is maybe a little bit high for me. But it's Nintendo, everything's got a premium, and he is a quality product. It feels like they've really embraced the aspects of Persona that make him stand out. And his final smash is really cool. You kind of dash across the length of the map, or a good distance across the map, and anyone you hit kind of gets transported into a little bit of an alternative dimension, and what I'm assuming are the characters from Persona 5 who are the party members of Joker. Just all beat the shit out of anyone who gets hit, and if you manage to win using this map, it cuts straight. It has this kind of like pause at the end of it where it shows Joker like kind of posing to the camera, and it goes straight from that into the victory screen if you win the match with it, which is a really nice touch. However, that leads me on to the problem that Joker has brought to the game. Now, it seems like a big oversight, but I'm not a huge fan of Spirit Mode, or what was it? God, you can tell I'm not a big fan. I can't even remember the name of it. It's the map Warriors of Light, or whatever it's called, the big campaign. I've barely played it. It didn't really float my boat, so I tend to, if I'm playing just by myself, I play classic mode or just versus, or sometimes go online, although the online's a bit spotty, I find. But if you are playing classic mode with Joker and you win a match, it will hang on that final kind of frame of animation in the final smash where Joker's posing towards the camera, and it will soft lock the game. The game is not crashed, but it has no means of progression. You can't pause it and quit. You've literally got to back out to the Switch's operating system and close the game down, which isn't exactly great when you're halfway through classic mode and you lose all your progress. I can only assume that the glitch is because, as I said before, the animation takes you straight into the victory screen, and in classic mode there is no victory screen, so it seems like a big oversight for such a quality product, but there is that. So all I'd say is, if you're playing classic mode with Joker, don't do your final smash, at least not to win the game. As good as it is, and as fucking hardcore of a winning move it is, it just annihilates everybody. Don't do it, it'll just lose your progress. And I thought it was worth mentioning that it's not all good news with this update, but generally speaking, really fun character. I'll leave a few more minutes of gameplay up on the screen, so enjoy my low end play.
So much for them.